You know what is absolutely wild? Japan has more millionaires per capita than pretty much any other country on Earth. But you'd honestly never know it. You don't see Lambos, there's no flexing on Instagram, just quiet, invisible wealth being built for generations.
Meanwhile, so many of us are constantly stressed out about money. We're working our tails off, making a pretty decent income, but somehow we're always living paycheck to paycheck. It feels like we're doing everything right, but we're getting nowhere. So, what is the deal? Okay, let's just get right into it. It really comes down to a huge difference in mindset. Western culture often screams, show off what you've got, which ironically is a great way to stay broke. But in contrast, Japanese culture is all about hiding wealth and building it silently. We're on the same planet, but with completely different game plans and, well, wildly different results.
And here's the part that really blows my mind. This isn't some complex, secret financial formula. Nope. It all boils down to 9 simple daily habits that literally anyone can start doing today. No luck involved, no stress needed. And you gotta stick with me because I'm breaking down all 9. And let me tell you, that last one, it completely rewired the way I think about money.
So, the very first habit is all about seeing the cold, hard truth. Why? Because most of us have no clue where our money is actually going. It just evaporates, right? This first step is designed to stop that from happening, dead in its tracks.
All right, habit number 1 is called the Kakeibo, and this thing's been around since 1904. It's basically a financial journal where you write down every single expense by hand. Yeah, I know what you're thinking. Dude, there's an app for that, but just trust me on this one. There is something so powerful about physically writing it down. It makes your spending feel real.
See, the Kakeibo forces you to get real with yourself by sorting every single purchase into 4 buckets. First, survival. This is your rent, groceries, the absolute must-haves. Then, optional. Stuff like that daily $7 coffee or the streaming service you forgot you were even paying for. Third is culture. Books, museums, things that actually enrich your life. And then there's extra, which is basically the why on earth did I buy this category.
And here's the craziest part. Studies have actually shown that people who just write down their expenses automatically spend 15 to 20% less. And get this, they're not even trying to cut back. They're just finally aware of where their money is actually going. And that's where this ancient saying just hits the nail on the head. It's the whole idea behind the Kakeibo. When you write it down, you see it. And once you really see it, you can't unsee it. And that, my friends, is when you finally start to change it.
Okay, so tracking your spending, total game changer. But what about all the money you're already losing without even realizing it? Well, habits 2, 3, and 4 are all about plugging those invisible leaks in your financial ship before you sink.
Habit number 2 is to embrace motaninai, which is this deep sense of regret over any kind of waste. I mean, think about it. Americans waste up to 40% of the food they buy. Just let that sink in for a second. That's not a food problem. That is a wealth problem. You are literally throwing your money straight into the garbage can.
Now for habit number 3, the art of kintsugi. Our whole throwaway culture says if something's broken, just toss it and buy a new one. Kintsugi teaches the exact opposite. They repair broken pottery with actual gold, making the repaired piece even more valuable and beautiful than before. The breaks and the repairs become part of its story, not a reason to throw it away. And that flows right into habit 4, practicing wabi-sabi, or finding beauty in imperfection. This is the ultimate counter to that constant nagging feeling that you need to upgrade. That scratch on your dining table, it's not a flaw, it's character. Your phone from 2 years ago, it's not an embarrassment, it's a tool that still works perfectly fine. Contentment right there is the foundation of wealth.
So just becoming conscious of waste and learning to appreciate what you already have is incredibly powerful. It really does stop the bleeding.
But what if you could do more than just save money? What if you could actively grow it with tiny little actions you won't even notice? This next habit, this is where we go on offense.
Okay, so we've shifted from defense to offense. Let's talk about the system of compounding small, daily improvements into absolutely massive gains over time. Habit number 5 is Kaizen. It just means continuous small improvement. And look, this isn't some trendy self-help idea. This is the core philosophy that helped a little company called Toyota become a global powerhouse and literally rebuilt Japan's entire economy from rubble.
So, the math on this is about to break your brain. If you get just 1% better every single day, you don't just end the year 365% better. Oh no. Because of the power of compounding, you end up nearly 37 times better. Just let that sink in. These small changes, they aren't small at all. They are everything.
And a perfect way to practice this is habit number 6, hara hachi bu, which is the 80% rule. People in Okinawa use it to eat only until they're about 80% full. Now, let's apply that to your money. Live on 80% of your income. That 20% gap that opens up between what you have and what you actually spend, that little space right there, that's where wealth is born. But look, all the tips and tricks are only half the battle. The final 3 habits, these are the most important ones because they're all about rewiring the deep down philosophies that are driving every single one of your financial decisions, whether you know it or not.
So, habit 7 is to find your ikigai, your reason for being. When you know what truly drives you, you stop wasting money on stuff that just doesn't matter. Habit 8 is to master gammon, or patience, which is just the discipline of delaying gratification. And habit 9 is to practice shogunai, which is accepting the things you simply cannot control.
Think about it. So much of our money stress comes from scrolling through social media, looking at what everybody else has. But you have got to learn to let that go. Stop the comparison game. Their family money, their lucky break, you can't control any of that. But your habits, your discipline, starting right now, that is 100% on you.
Okay, I know that was a ton of information, but knowledge is totally useless if you don't take action. So let's make this real. Here's how you can start building your own quiet wealth, starting right now.
We just covered all 9 habits. Track with Kakebo, stop waste, repair, don't replace, love your imperfections, make those 1% daily improvements, live on 80%, find your purpose, practice patience, and accept what you can't control. Look, don't try to do them all at once. Just pick one. Will you start a money journal tonight? Will you save just $1 extra today? Pick one and commit to it.
You see, quiet wealth isn't loud. It's not flashy. It's patient, it's disciplined, and it's totally invisible. Until one day, it is completely, undeniably there. If you want to go deeper on mastering the art of patience, you should watch our next explainer on how to practice delayed gratification in a world of one-click buying. Thanks for watching.